right. First and foremost, we would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great example to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully they got that pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the whole flag, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh by Hashem Shai. All right, my brother Yashima to my right,
Jerome Yashar.
all right, and we're GMS Mississippi branch, and we just coming, with another lesson how discipline is vital, within this walk, because when we first came into the ministry, a lot of us, came in, from the world, all right, and this society taught us to be what extremely undisciplined, to be impulsive, okay, to just be unbalanced, all right, and just to go all out in one way. Those mottos, obey thy thirst, just do it, okay. We pretty much came from a do as thou wilt culture, okay, and what the truth does, it grounds us and gives us discipline, okay, it makes us conservative, all right, which is really a form of life, when you go into it. So we're going to get some precepts, going into these things, and Lord will, you brothers and you sisters are edified.
And I also pulled up the definition of discipline too.
Okay, yeah, let's get there. Let's start off with this.
This is the definition of discipline on Google.
Yep.
It says the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior.
Yep.
Using punishment to correct disobedience.
Yeah, to obey rules or a code of behavior. And see, when we came back into the ministry, when we came into the truth, we come into a standard. Okay, and that's why you see a lot of people that know that they Israelites, they still, do the darnest things because they never came up under the discipline of the scriptures. It's one thing to acknowledge that you're an Israelite, but it's another thing to come under the discipline of the scriptures, and that's what's really molding us into something acceptable by Yahweh Shema Shai.
Oh no, I'm just gonna add to it. It also says activity or experience that provides mental or physical training.
Yep.
And then the second definition, it says a branch of knowledge, typically one studied in higher education.
Woo! Hey, because it's a discipline, like to read on a regular basis. That requires a discipline, and a lot of time what the congregation is seeing is men that have disciplined themselves, with a certain study regimen, with certain lifestyle that makes them available, all right, to serve in the ministry, man. So discipline is vital, okay, within the ministry from top to bottom, man.
And one more.
You gotta go.
Just like the sub heading, it just say to train oneself is like punish or rebuke someone formally for an offense. Going into the discipline. So
and the Lord, He rebukes us in our day to day. There's a lot of times that we, get corrected. And a lot of times we know exactly why we're getting corrected, man. And that creates a discipline. That chastening creates a discipline, all right, that the Lord wants, okay? Because that chastening that the Lord gives, okay, to create discipline is for us, all right, to be the best version of us, man. That's why, matter of fact, it doesn't Sirach 30 and 1. There was some more in there? Okay, look at that Sirach 30 and 1. And it's going to go into the intention, okay, of the chastening of the Lord, like why, the purpose of this chastening of the Lord for his people, man, beginning with his sons. Go ahead.
this is Sirach chapter 30, verse 1.
Yep.
He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod,
Yep.
that he may have joy of him in the end.
He that loveth his son calls him off to feel the rod, going back to a form of discipline. Okay? So he can have joy of him at the end. See, discipline is all about the end game. See, it's two things. You can have discipline, okay, and then you can get the perks on the back end. Or you can have no discipline and you can get all the enjoyments on the front end, but then you get the consequences on the back end. Like people that have lived that party life, in their 20s and 30s, okay, you look at them, they're broken down, their body, they're in horrible situations, men that, like I say, when I was a DJ in the club, a lot of DJs, they got with all those women and they have all those kids, and now they can never be established in their life because of those undisciplined decisions that they made. You know? So discipline, either you're gonna be disciplined on the front end and get the perks on the back end, or you're gonna be undisciplined on the front end and get that enjoyment, but then you got them consequences on the back end, man. You know? That's how it works. Yeah.
You want to jump to that Sirach 18?
Yeah. Let's get there.
This Sirach chapter 18, verse 30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain from thyself from thine appetites.
Yep, hey, but refrain thyself from thy appetites. And see, that's something that has to be practiced, is refraining, you know, because we've been taught to just go. But then Esau make it so convenient, everything is what? The touch of your phone. Okay? The nightlife, the scene, you know, everything is so convenient, you know, for you to get into that in this society, we have to show, all right, a frame, all right, restraint on the flesh, because this society is set up for the flesh to destroy itself, man. You know, chasing the bag, chasing women, chasing clout, all right, just chasing, you know, sex, whatever you chasing, you can chase it to your destruction in this society. That's why the scriptures, you know, push what? Restraint, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And even in like the definition, it said it's an activity that provides mental and physical training, because it's a mental and physical thing to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Because in your mind, because your mind is warring against your flesh.
Yeah.
So your flesh is gonna want whatever it wants, whatever it lusts after. But at the same time, your mind, which is your spirit, it knows what the spirit wants.
Yep.
And so you have to. That's a form of discipline. You know, that's why, you know, it says an activity that provides mental and physical training. You know, it requires that basically.
You gotta practice it, man. You know, it's something like, so you gotta practice discipline, man, because it's just so tempting, you know, to be out here, man. You know, as a man and a woman. You know, you should be like as women. Like the women needs a spot, especially she a decent looking woman. You know, it's easy to just put on the outfit and post it, you know, and then you open up the revenue to, you know, all type of benefits that this, you know, that this society provides, man. You got simp culture, you know. So it's easy to get you 2-3 tricks, you know, a few niggas on the side, and you know you kind of live luxury, all right. But it will require you to be undisciplined and unchaste, you know. But you can lose particular things on this side through discipline, but you're gonna gain everything on the backside, man. You know, because having as a woman, you know, you saving yourself for a man of the Lord, that's gonna pay off way more than 100 Mayweathers and 100 million Jay-Z's, man. You know, but right now it requires a discipline, man. Everyone is required to have some discipline to make it to their glory, man. You got it, bro.
Verse 31. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that make malign thee.
Yeah, so if you keep giving your flesh over to these desires and pleasures, okay, being undisciplined, he said to make you a laughing stock, man. Okay? You ain't kicking, eh? Let me see. Look at it will be pushing right that way. Let's see. Something's wrong with this thing. Try to lean a little more. You read that again,
Sirach 18 and 31 again. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee.
yeah, you become a laughing stock if you give yourself over to your flesh and your lust. Like, look at this for examples. Okay, look at Lil' Kim. You know, look at what she's become. Like these people that had all these plastic surgeries. Look at what they become. All right, trying to chase, because the women go get the old plastic surgery so they can be idolized. That's all their lust in their flesh. Okay, but look at the end result of it. Look at Lil Wayne. Look at Trick Daddy. What Jewel Santana, that nigga missing teeth now, you know, from drinking so much lean. You know, you become a laughing stock. Like if you give yourself over, like a lot of people that's homeless, those are undisciplined people. You know, here just bad. Like they goes from being undisciplined, man. All these baby daddies and kids, and all these baby mamas and kids, they all goes back to being undisciplined, and you become a laughing stock, man. You know,
Being unwise.
being unwise, man. You know, but let's get that in.
The
You got
decision
it.
making
Yeah.
goes with having it co-aligns with having good judgment, making wise decisions, and always thinking ahead too.
Yep.
You know, because when you, like the brother was going into, you always thinking about the back end. What is the consequence of what I'm doing, or my actions, especially when it comes to the spirit? What is the consequence, you know, of my actions, and how would the Lord view what decision I made?
Yeah. Discipline makes you always have counsel with yourself. You know, like you before you do something, like discipline makes you have a counsel with you. Like, okay, this wouldn't be, this ain't the play. You know. Yeah. So, you got some. Get Sirach 25 and 21. You know, and especially in the middle. You know, within this society. You know, as the Lord has called His sons. You know, to be leaders. You know, amongst His people. You know. Men of Israel have to have more discipline, you know, than anyone else. You know, Lord will we, those future judges and rulers of the earth, it will require more discipline from us than anyone else, man. Okay? Yeah.
This is Sirach 25 and 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure.
Yep. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. Now, what is that scripture saying? Okay? Because there's nothing wrong with a woman that looks good, or desiring a woman that looks good, that's, you know, that you're attracted to physically, okay? But that shouldn't be the beginning and the end of your decision making, okay? That would be unwise, okay? But in this society, if you're undisciplined, you know, you have a lot of women that you can be sexually attracted to that's bad for your situation, man. You know, so the scriptures give us an outline on how to move, man. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman. You know, like me and the brother was saying earlier, man, a woman is supposed to be of an assistance. Her beauty and the physical attraction, you know, that's a plus, all right, to her duties and her skill sets that she's supposed to have, man. You know, but if you're undisciplined, which we all were, you just looking at what, man? The sexual attraction, and then that's all it takes for her to be qualified to be a part of your situation, man. Okay? And a lot of men have fell off and have ruined, okay, their situations by moving like that, and that's undisciplined, man. You know, like we were saying, you know, you move, because a nigga woman is basically a mannequin. Majority of the nigga women in the earth today, especially in America, they're mannequins. They really don't do nothing. They just bodies that you put outfits on, man. You know, and like the brother said, you gotta choose the outfit because it's on your tab. Right. You know, that's what the nigga woman has been reduced to for the most part, is a goddamn mannequin, man.
Can't think for themselves.
Yeah, you niggas just standing there looking at you do every goddamn thing, man. Okay, but nah, man. You know, we to the point now where we over there, like we disciplined enough, you know, not to just be going crazy. You know that Johnny Bravo spirit, you know.
Just lusting out
Yeah.
And that takes away their power too. You know, because even that comes with discipline. You know, just thinking about it, having discipline takes away the power from those that had the power over you at one point, or whatever had power over you at one point.
Yeah, that's the point.
And like even with Esau Edom, us becoming disciplined takes away power from him, because now he has people, and that's like relating to Esau. That's what he fears most. You know, he don't fear any undisciplined Jake, because he still has that power and that control.
Light work.
But any Jake that has that discipline and that knows, that has the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, those are the ones that he fear the most.
Mm-hmm.
Because now that power that he had over them is taken away. He don't have that control. And that's the same way with your flesh, with these women. You know, when you don't give in to them, especially when they're seeking after you, you know, you have that discipline. It messes with them. Mm-hmm. You know, they can't even stand it. Yep. You know, why is he not falling for me?
Yep. They used to niggas just being in awe.
Right.
You know, niggas being in awe. Then, like you said, with Esau, I got a quick precept for you. Wisdom Solomon 2:15. It says this is how the elites think. about, all right, the men of the Lord. It says, He is grievous unto us even to behold, for his life is not like other men, his ways are of another fashion.
Right, his life not like other men's, his ways are of another fashion, meaning we have the fashion and the mindset of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's a real kingdom mindset. You know, we have the power, we have the mindset to overthrow this man's kingdom. No other Jake outside of this truth had that mindset that they want to overthrow Esau.
Yeah.
You know, but do it the right way, the
Yeah.
righteous way,
Yeah.
the way that, you know, the Lord told us to do it that'll successfully work.
And then they seeing the discipline amongst the men of the Lord that they ain't never seen. Like they say, his fashion is not like of other men. You know, but Esau, you know, hey, especially if you're a man that's teaching, Esau knows how you moving now. He's tracking everything, so he really seen like, damn, you know, they not chasing the bag, they not obsessed with the bag, they not obsessed with Eve, they not spending a lot, they not trying to get clout. Like, he's looking like, okay, these guys is different, and it's the discipline. You're like, these men are disciplined, you know? And just like you say, that takes away the leverage. That's why the scriptures say they hated their lives unto, they love not their lives unto death, man. Which means we don't care about this current life like that, man. Okay? And that's another thing that takes the power away from Esau Edom. That takes the power away from the nigga woman. Because sometimes the Eve will act like she into you just so you can try to engage, so she can shut you down. You know, so she can have that one up. You know, just want to see is you still that undisciplined, thirsty nigga, man. But, you know, you to the point now, well, Eve is goddamn invisible, man. You know, for the most part, because you already know trash, there's a great chance it's going to be trash, you know, and the purpose we on, as we tap more into our purpose, like, nah, you know, they going to have to revolve around us, man. If not, shit, we good. And that's another thing, the ability to take your ass home, man. The discipline to just take your ass home, man. Okay? You go move around a little bit, all right? Don't feel like you lost because you know, you ain't getting no action. Like, nah, man, that shit played out, you know? Yeah, something.
Precept.
Yep.
This is Sirach 37. Kind of read down a little bit. Verse 12, read down to 16. It says, but be continually with a, like I'm starting verse 13.
Yeah,
It says, and let counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it. For a man's mind is sometimes wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. And above all this, pray to the Most High, that he will direct thy way in truth. And here go the point. Let reason go before every enterprise, and counsel before every action.
Yep. So, and then you got the body, you know, and then the scriptures is counsel within itself, you know. But if you have access to the brothers, you know, there's a safety net of counsel, okay? And then the scriptures within itself is counsel, man, you know. So we apply these things, okay, within our decision making, right? And then pretty much is a righteous protocol of wise decision making, man. Discipline and wise decision making, man, by staying within the counsels of this, man. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Cause like I was saying, wise decision making is a part of discipline. Because then you know how to make decisions. You know when the best time is to make a move, or when to be patient, so that you won't put yourself in a horrible situation. Just like with women, you know, you put yourself in a horrible situation being impatient, and that's a wise, you know, being undisciplined, which is impatience as well. And that's an unwise decision versus waiting, you know, just being patient on the Lord. Then he'll put something across your path that you would have never found being impatient and undisciplined.
Yep.
And like you know, going back to the definition, that's a mental and physical training. Because that's, you know, both mental, you got to get your mind right for that, but also physical, because the flesh is always want, you know, what the flesh wants.
Mm-hmm. And it comes with that experience. And that's why, I think that Sirach 37:27, what the brother is saying, you know, that the conditioning comes with experience, man. You know? Like with anything, man, you do it every day. Become skillful in it. You know?
This is Sirach 37, verse 27.
Yep.
My son, prove thy soul in thy life,
Yep.
and see what is evil for it.
Yeah, prove thy soul, all right, thy spirit. You know, and see what is evil for, see what's bad. To improve means to try out. So there's particular things that you can try, you know, and It's gonna go into it. Matter of fact, just read them, and then we'll expound on
My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything.
it. Yeah. So once you figure out something evil is bad for your situation, you know, you gotta show the discipline to stay away from it, man. Every brother, all right, can't handle the same thing. Okay, every brother ain't built, all right, to move a certain way. That's why each individual brother, you know, has to have an honest assessment and move according to what's efficient for them. And one thing about it in general, you know, but especially in the scriptures, once you find out your lane, you know, and you just move in that lane, that's when you flourish. You know, if you trying to do too much and trying to do all this, that's when it get chaotic and disastrous, man. You know, you find your lane and you kind of maneuver and just, you know, maneuver in your lane, you know, with discipline, with wisdom, that's when, you know, you really begin to flourish in the spirit, you know. Let's get some rock 6 and let's start at 18.
This is Sirach chapter 6, verse 18. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom to thine old age.
And so when you gather instruction from your youth up, that's experience. Okay? The experience is knowing the outcome of situations. So you don't even waste time on certain situations because you know the outcome because you've been gaining the experience from your youth up. Okay? So as we gain this experience, okay, there's a lot of things we know to cut off or don't even delve in because we know through experience the outcome of it. Okay, go ahead.
Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. But thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon.
Yeah, so when you toil in this wisdom and you start applying it, then it starts showing in your day to day. You know, there's peace. All right, there's efficiency in your day to day. Once you start toiling in His Word, then applying it, then you start to see the benefits of the fruits of wisdom and discipline. Go ahead.
She is very unpleasant to the unlearned.
Mm-hmm.
He that is without understanding will not remain with her.
Yeah, and that discipline. You know, that's one thing niggas don't niggas and the nigga woman talking about discipline. Okay? They don't want to deal with no discipline, man. Alright? They want to do as thou will. But they want all the perks that comes with discipline, but they won't do as thou will. And see, that's one of the tricks of Esau Edom. You shall not surely die. You know? He tricked the masses into, look, you can get the perks. That's why he's pushing immortality. Here it is, the earth is more wicked than ever. And he's pushing immortality. Like, nah, how the hell would you want a transformer to live forever? You know?
You forever doubt.
Yeah. Go ahead.
She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long.
Yeah, see, that discipline gonna separate who really wants from who don't. That's with anything. Anything that you want to achieve and it requires some discipline, that's gonna separate who really want it and who don't. You know, you wanted to make a basketball team or a football team, well, there was a lot of discipline. I remember like when we used to coach Little League, we used to just have like a month of hell, just straight running, no pads, nothing but conditioning, back to back, in the heat, you know? And that's how discipline is, man. You know, it's a trial. And if you really didn't want it like that, discipline was gonna get you out of there. See, discipline like a filter.
Yeah.
You know? If you really don't want it like that, discipline gonna get your ass out of there, man. You a man or a woman. Like if you really don't want it like that, discipline gonna make you get make you buy down. Hell yeah. You know? Go ahead.
It says, for wisdom is according to her name,
Yep.
and she is not manifest unto many.
Keep going.
Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel. Put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chain.
Go ahead.
Bow down thy shoulder, and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds.
Yeah, because with the discipline, hey, it creates restrictions. You know? And you really got tapped in, it creates restrictions. It's a lot of nights, you know, you brothers, as we tap into this wisdom, it's a lot of nights you ain't gonna be able to Netflix and chill. It's gonna be a lot of weekends you ain't gonna be able to do no date nights. All right, you ain't gonna be able to take the trip to the beach, okay? Because ain't gonna be times like we gotta be tapped in, okay? And then one thing about it, discipline, you know, lets you know when it's time, you know, to kind of fall back and get a release. All right, but first you got, hey, a lot of times you gotta put your head down. Like I say, you gotta bow your neck down. Hey, you gotta be a prisoner. You really gotta be a prisoner. Like what Apostle Paul say, he was a prisoner of Yahushua. Okay, because he was locked in. It was just a lot of times you locked in. What he say? Though they that have wives, be as though you have none. Because sometimes it'll be like that, man. You know, because you tapped in. All right. But let's see what it leads to. Go ahead.
It says, come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power.
Yeah, keep her ways with all thy power. Hey, and then on the flip side, when you doing that, that's testing your woman discipline. Like when you tapped in, fulfilling your purpose, and she on the back end, that tests her discipline, man. So if she get shaky and want to go, hey, she didn't have the discipline that was required. You know, like I said, you balance it out, and sometimes you know you move around with it sometimes, but a lot of times we can't neglect this to do that. You know, and then like I say, if she gets impatient and wants to do her own thing, hey, she didn't have the discipline, man. That's just what it is. Go ahead.
Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee.
Yep.
And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go.
Keep going.
For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned into thy joy.
And at last thou shalt find thy rest, and that shall be turned into joy. We got an eternal vacation coming. So what is it to miss out on some vacations on this side, or some trips, some certain things on this side? You can't compare it. And when you got an eternal vacation to come on the back end, remember, you show discipline on the front end, the perks come on the back end, and them perks these perks gonna be everlasting. Okay, for a lifetime of discipline, everlasting perks. You can't compare it.
It's something that no other nation ever experienced either.
Yep.
It says, then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory.
And chains a robe of glory. So though that discipline that felt like bondage is gonna turn into a robes of glory. What does robe represent, man? Royalty. You see? Go ahead.
For there is a golden ornament upon her, and her bands are purple lace.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt put her on as a robe of honor, and shall put her about thee as a crown of joy.
And shall put her about thee as a crown of joy. Okay? That's on the back end. That's going to be in the kingdom. So right now, it requires a discipline. Okay? And that's a vital part of the ministry, man. So, you know, I say every brother got a different balance. Every brother got, you know, different ways that is efficient for them to move. You know, that's why with experience, you find those things out, man. Okay? If it's something good, keep it. If it's evil to you, take it away. You know? And just keep adding the things that's good and keep taking away the things that's evil. Then you're becoming thorough. You know? That's how we're becoming thorough, by moving in that manner, man. You know? You had something else? All right, with that, you know, we praise you, brothers. All right, and you sisters were edified once again. We're going to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who will teach well, being great examples to our younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, and hope. Shalom. Shalom.